The city wakes up like a machine. Alarms blaring, screens flashing, emails stacking over notifications, a new package at the door. We walk through rooms where lifeless things compete for our attention, and somewhere amid everything demanding to be seen, our eyes begin to blur, presence replaced by reflex. Why is it that the Japanese can find beauty in the smallest things? A silent cup of tea on a wooden table, a single leaf falling through a beam of light, or the thin space between two objects? What secret allows them to turn ordinary moments into open doors toward calm and clarity? This journey invites you to explore Japanese minimalism, not as a trend about owning less, but as a discipline of perception, to see instead of merely look, to see the crack that tells a story, the pause that gives meaning, the quiet elegance that softens the heart. From your room to your schedule, from your mind to your consumption, each small act becomes a brushstroke that restores white space, giving light a place to fall. If you've ever felt tired of too much, this is not a call to escape, but a call to return. Peace isn't somewhere far away. It's waiting right here in how you choose to see what's near. Look around your room right now. Choose the most imperfect thing. Can you find beauty in it? I remember one morning, my favorite teacup had a crack as thin as a hairline. Instead of throwing it away, I touched the crack gently. It felt like a tiny river crossing through time. That's wabi-sabi. The beauty of impermanence and trace. We stop demanding life to be smooth as glass, and instead learn to soften before its rough edges. When we look with the heart, we grow kinder toward ourselves. Wrinkles at the eyes, a wrong choice once made, an unfinished plan, all allowed to exist as proof of life. A simple practice. Keep one old object that holds meaning. Clean it, place it where you'll see it often. Let it remind you to be gentle with your own cracks. But beauty is not only in what is, but also in what isn't. Ma is the meaningful pause, the breath between two sentences, the blank space on a wall, the unscheduled afternoon. When we leave room, life finds a way to fill it with clarity. Try a small ritual. Before unlocking your phone each morning, sit still for 3 minutes. Listen to the air conditioner, to the leaves, to your own heartbeat. Or tonight, clear one shelf and leave it empty for a week. Let that emptiness remind you that peace isn't something you buy, it's something you give back. Ma slows the mind, and in the silence, long-sought ideas begin to glow. Then comes shibumi, the quiet grace, the understated beauty. It doesn't try to impress. It's the gray shirt cut just right, the uncluttered room where everything rests in its place. Shibumi teaches us to live without showing off, to do our part with the calm confidence of someone who knows what's enough. During the day, choose one act to perform with stillness. Wash the dishes one breath slower, write one clear sentence, walk softly down the hall. The subtlety of shibumi doesn't shout, but it resonates. It's the soft strength that keeps life in order without a single command. When wabi-sabi gives us compassion for our cracks, Ma gives us space to breathe, and shibumi shows us how to move lightly. We begin to see beauty not in what is extraordinary, but in what is familiar, seen with the heart. And then you realize peace was quietly blooming where you already stand. Wabi-sabi, Ma, and shibumi aren't distant philosophies. They're keys, inviting us to unlock the door and rediscover everyday life through new eyes. 1. See your space anew. If tomorrow morning you open your bedside drawer and find a loose button, an old charger, an expired ticket, what would you do? Close it and forget again, or open it wider to see how you've really been living? I once had a drawer like that. Every time I pulled it open, a small sigh escaped. Then, one day, I decided to declutter to see again, not to make the drawer prettier, but to make myself lighter. Danshari is 3 mental movements before it's ever 3 physical ones. Dan means cutting off the inflow, declining polite yet inconvenient gifts, refusing flyers, resisting the buy one, get one temptation just because you fear missing out. Sha is letting go of what no longer plays a role, things unused, unneeded, or unloved, no matter how expensive they once were. Re is detaching from the emotional thread, thanking the memories but not forcing objects to bear your fear of emptiness. When you step into danshari, you're not throwing things away. You're setting them free and freeing yourself. This method was born from the spirit of an island nation where limited space once bred quiet anxiety. In small apartments where belongings sprout on every flat surface, danshari became an antidote to suffocation. Yet today, its meaning extends further. When the clutter fades, your inner voice grows clearer. I began with my desk, a small territory to reclaim from fatigue. I placed everything on the surface, touching each item as if asking, "Does this bring me back to the present?" The pen that glided smoothly stayed. The old project folders. I took photos of what mattered and let the rest go. Slowly the desk cleared, and so did my mind. Danshari doesn't demand you empty your whole house in one weekend. It prefers short but deep steps. One item less each day, one corner returned to the light each week. When shopping, I whisper danshari like a secret code to test my motive. Do I really need it, or just the thrill of a new bag? For sentimental things, I turn memory into action. Call the friend who gave the gift, share a moment, and give the item a new home. Memories live in connection, not in dust. Some say clutter breeds creativity, that chaos shows character. I think danshari doesn't oppose liveliness. It only invites us to distinguish between clutter that nourishes and clutter that chokes. A painter's desk full of brushes and sketches in progress can be ordered chaos, but a stack of mystery boxes in the corner? That's just delayed transformation. Danshari isn't sterile asceticism. It's the art of choosing the right degree of enough. And there's another voice in Japanese culture, mottainai, the regret of waste. Practicing danshari with that spirit makes your home gentler and the earth lighter. I sort things to gift, sell, or recycle. I repair before replacing, borrow before buying. What remains becomes precious, not because it's expensive, but because it's used, loved, and cared for. You can begin tonight with a simple ritual. Choose one flat surface, a table, a shoe rack, the top of your fridge. Clear it completely, wipe it clean, and place back only 3 things that truly serve your life today. Don't rush to fill the rest. Let it stay open, like a window where light can pass through. Tomorrow, move to one drawer. The next day, your bag. Each time you close it, listen. Does your heart beat slow a little? A few days later, you'll notice something subtle yet profound. As your home begins to breathe, so do you. Decluttering to see again, it turns out, was never about tidying the house. It was about seeing yourself clearly within it. 2. See your schedule anew. If you were to delete just one appointment from your calendar today, what would have room to enter that space? A full breath, a clear thought, or just another notification? I tried it once on a Monday morning. My first meeting got canceled. I didn't rush to fill the gap. Instead, I walked around the block, stepped slowly past trees still wet with dew, brewed a cup of tea, and wrote 3 short lines in my notebook. An hour passed without producing anything remarkable. Yet, when I finally sat down to work, my mind felt as clear as the air after rain. We often mistake a packed schedule for a valuable one. A day without breaks keeps us running, replying, moving to the next thing, rarely truly being where we are. The sense of productivity arrives quickly, but fatigue piles up even faster. One day you realize you've been living like a web browser with too many tabs open, none of them fully read. That's when Japanese philosophy whispers a soft reminder, yohaku no bi, the beauty of blank space. On a page, white margins aren't emptiness, they're where the eyes rest and meaning breathes. On a calendar, an empty slot is the same, not waste, but room for life to unfold. When I applied yohaku no bi to time, I began calling 1 hour each day my white margin hour. No plans, no multitasking. Sometimes it's just eating lunch slowly enough to hear the rhythm of my chewing. Sometimes it's watching sunlight crawl across the windowsill, then stepping outside to let the wind rearrange my thoughts. The strange thing is, these empty hours don't steal productivity. They sharpen it, like the silence between 2 notes that makes the melody rise. But empty time isn't only for resting, it's for being present. In the way of tea, there's a saying, Ichigo Ichie, one encounter, one opportunity. Every tea gathering happens only once, never the same again. Just like the conversation with your coworker this morning, or the hug you'll give a loved one tonight. When you remember that each moment is unrepeatable, your attention naturally stops scattering. I began practicing this in a small way. When meeting someone, I put my phone away and decide to see them as if for the first and only time. Conversations become slower, deeper, and shorter, because there's no need for those unconscious loops. Of course, some days the schedule still overflows. On those days, I don't force myself to meditate more as another task. I just place thin time cushions between events. 5 quiet minutes to sip water, 3 breaths before hitting join, 10 slow steps from desk to window. Small, but vital. Those soft buffers help the brain change gears smoothly, like an automatic car shifting without a jolt. And when the day stays full, I move my white margin hour to the evening. A cup of tea, a page of reading, 1 line in my gratitude journal. Blank time flows like water. It finds its place. The only danger is letting it dry up. You may sometimes feel guilty. Is sitting and watching trees a waste? Try asking differently. Can 1 empty hour fuel the next 10? We don't live to fill calendars. We use calendars to make space for life. And once you start leaving margins in your time, you'll notice something. Stress finds an exit. Tasks still get done, but they move through you instead of weighing on you. Today, try this gentle ritual. Pick any hour and name it your white margin hour. During it, do only what doesn't raise your heartbeat. Eat slowly, walk without headphones, make tea, and savor the last sip. Call a friend just to say hello. Don't look for achievement. Look for that soft landing where you truly arrive. And tomorrow, leave 1 blank square in your calendar, like a window kept open for light. When we learn to leave margins in our time, life begins to appear clearly, right between the lines. 3. See your mind anew. If you were to open the door of your mind right now, what would you see first? An unfinished thought? A whispering notification? Or a thin, misty noise that never really fades? I used to live with an inner room where every light was on, every drawer slightly open. One afternoon, I brewed a cup of tea and decided to tidy that room, not with a broom, but with a beginner's heart. Shoshin. Shoshin reminds us, no matter how far we've come, to walk as if we've just begun. When I sit before my tea, instead of judging whether it's perfect today, I try to see it as if for the very first time. My hands feel the warmth. My nose meets the gentle scent. My lips taste something both familiar and new. And strangely, when I stop imposing a right way on the moment, my mind grows quieter, like a window opening to light. The inner room doesn't need more furniture. It just needs sunlight touching the floor. From the teacup, I step into the hallway and walk a few slow rounds. Just walking, like Kinhin in Zen, each step laid down as if writing a single simple character. Heel touches, sole rolls, toes lift. Breath joins the rhythm, a slow waltz with the earth. I realize that not every tension needs to be resolved. Some only need to be seen. When they're met with breath, they soften. The mind feels heavy not because we think too much, but because we hold on too tightly. Yet Shoshin doesn't ask us to erase experience. It simply invites us to release the label, "I already know," each time we enter a new moment. In a tense meeting, I shift from, "I know they'll disagree," to, "I'm curious what they're trying to protect." In conflict, I try to listen not just to the words, but to the fear behind them. The urge to be right steps back half a pace, and in that half step, calmness finds room to enter. To declutter the mind, I shrink my rituals until no excuse can fit between me and them. 5 minutes in the morning, drink tea without touching the phone. 5 minutes in the afternoon, write 3 I am present lines. What I see, what I hear, what my body feels. 5 minutes before sleep, breathe to a count of 4-6, read a short passage, and close the book while I still want more. These tiny moments are like opening a window to let damp air drift out. Not dramatic, but steady. For the mind, pause points are tiny acts of contact. Placing my hand flat on the table for 3 breaths before replying to a difficult email. Looking at one still object for 10 seconds when my heartbeat rises. No one sees you meditating. They just notice you reacting less and seeing more clearly. Mental simplicity doesn't wash life into blank white. It reveals its true colors, once blurred together. When we stop trying to record every moment, we start living in one. Memory keeps only what matters. When we stop trying to win every argument, we begin to hear what's worth understanding. When we stop trying to finish everything fast, we begin to do things right. Today, try a small exercise. Choose one ordinary act, washing your hands, tying your shoes, pouring water, and do it as if it were your first time. Notice the temperature on your skin, the shape of the bubbles, the sound of lace brushing metal. If your mind wanders, smile and call it back, like inviting a child to come closer. No judgment, no harshness, just a gentle invitation. Decluttering the inner room isn't about making it empty, it's about letting everything inside shine. And when that light grows within you, you begin to see the world illuminated by it. 4. See your consumption anew. If this morning you opened your closet and pulled out a shirt you rarely wear, what would your hands do first? Smooth out the wrinkles to reassure yourself, maybe I'll use it someday, or ask a sharper question. Do I still need this, or am I just attached to it? I've stood before that closet, few clothes, yet heavy with hesitation, until one day I learned to say a deeply Japanese word, mottainai, a gentle sorrow for what's wasted, for the value left unlived. Mottainai isn't a scolding, it's a tender gaze. Everything we touch carries someone's effort, the earth's time, and a story that brought it to us. When we understand that, we buy less out of greed, discard less out of boredom, and start asking, how can I let this be fully used in its beauty? I began in the kitchen. A carrot that's crooked and imperfect, I shave the ends into the soup. Stale bread, I toast it into garlic crumbs. An empty jam jar, I wash and fill with tea leaves. What lightens us isn't emptiness, it's the sense that things are rightly used. With clothes, I found a new rhythm. Buy less, choose well, wear long. I learned to look at stitching, feel the fabric, ask where it came from, as if checking in on a friend. A sweater with frayed threads, I mended in sashiko, tiny hand stitches, steady as breathing, turning old scars into quiet patterns. A chipped porcelain cup. I didn't fix it with gold like kintsugi, but turned it into a vase for mint leaves. The chip became a window for new purpose. Each time I rescue an object from the trash, I feel I'm rescuing something in my own hurried habits too. Mottainai also taught me to negotiate with the thirst for new. Advertisements keep promising a better version of me, if only I buy one more thing. So I changed the rule. Before buying, I live without it for 7 days, borrowing, sharing, or simply doing without. 7 days is a fair filter. What I truly need speaks by day 5. What I only wanted fades by day 7. Bills grew lighter, but joy grew deeper. Every new item entered my home with a passport stamped reason, and each time I used it, I felt gratitude instead of guilt. Of course, steering away from a culture built on consumption isn't easy. When I slip, I don't punish myself. I return to one simple question. If I buy this, what will I let go? One in, one out. Not a rule, just the breathing rhythm of space. Mottainai doesn't tell us to reject new beauty. It teaches us to see enduring beauty. I now keep a few core companions, a good kitchen knife, a steady-handled teapot, a pair of shoes that walk my true pace. They aren't cheap, but they're faithful. Each use completes a quiet loop. Care, use, repair, continue. Ownership becomes companionship. Fewer things, yet each one truly present in my life. You can begin tonight gently, with one drawer. Take out 5 items and place them on a table. Ask, which will continue life with me? Which will live better elsewhere? Which can be repaired or reborn? Don't rush the decision. Touch, listen, then choose. Write one line afterward. Today I let one object live fully. Tomorrow, move to the kitchen. The next day, your bag. Step by step, your home will begin to breathe, and beauty will appear. Not because there's less, but because everything that remains feels right. Owning less doesn't make the world smaller. It widens your sight until you can finally see the quiet loveliness that's been here all along. When we lighten our rooms, leave margins in our schedules, and clear the noise inside our minds, something simple happens. The world doesn't change, but the way we see it does. A plain porcelain cup suddenly has a story. An old window frame becomes a portrait of the sky. An empty hour turns into a shelter for your breath. And we realize the peace we've been searching for isn't found by adding or removing things, but by softening the way we look. Day by day, we begin to notice the quiet beauty that's been here all along. The message of this journey is delicate yet lasting. Peace doesn't come from having more. It comes from feeling enough with what already is. Enough isn't an ending. It's a way of moving through life. Lighter, clearer, more grateful. When we feel enough, we don't miss out. We show up. When we feel enough, we don't close off. We open. Today, choose one small corner of your home, or 1 hour in your day, to do just one thing. Look and give thanks. Look at the table that's carried you through so many deadlines, the spoon that stirred countless hurried mornings, the chair that quietly waits for you each night. Don't fix, don't compare, just name their presence and whisper, thank you. And if you'd like, share in the comments, today what ordinary thing did you find beautiful? Your answer might open someone else's eyes. someone who's tired and searching for their own calm. If this video touched something in you, share it with a friend who might need that same gentle reminder. A leaf drifting across your gaze, a ray of sun on the wooden floor, a distant temple bell. Sometimes that's all it takes. Because when we learn to see enough, the whole world seems to glow a little brighter.